Hey everybody, what's going on? So, I'm here to do, I guess, a final game room tour thing, is what I'm going to say this is. I know that I've done them in the past, and it continues to change because I'm never completely satisfied with what I got going on. So, I'm going to run you through this room now and show you what it looks like. Okay, so first off, when you're coming down the stairs, you got the console center. This is where all the console games are. So I'm not really going to run down what consoles I have. I have another video that explains that. But Xbox, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, GameCube on this side. On this side I've got Nintendo, PlayStation 2, Atari 2600. So we're just going to, look around this thing here. I've got here, this is all Nintendo, Super Nintendo joysticks and accessories and stuff like that, like the the zapper and the quick shot. Moving up here, I've got some of my box Atari 2600 games. These are games where I need to get a place to put them. I don't really have a section for them as I do my other games. Moving up, some more Atari games, the Retro Duo Portable, PSP, that's not a PSP, that's a Game Boy Advance SP, and my Magic cards. Moving up here, we've got Stormtrooper clock. Next to him is another Super Nintendo monkey thing. Some Intellivision games, or no, there's a 2600 game back there and then a Intellivision game on that side. Moving over, we've got, on this side, we've got the Rocky movies, my Atari case. I don't know if you've seen that yet, but there's that. Miss Pac-Man inside the Miss Pac-Man, the Genesis game with the box, and then it's just sitting inside the little what do you call it? Fucking Sega thing. Moving down here, we've got another Intellivision game, a couple of Intellivision games, Final Fantasy box for the NES. I've got these little video game candy things. Moving down, Terminator 2 arcade game for the PC. It's a floppy. Terminator Head, Pac-Man Glass. That's one of three. I have two other ones that are actually upstairs. This is just for basically... I do drink out of them from time to time, but I like to display them more or less. I've got the DS and my Game Boy, which does not look like a normal Game Boy, but whatever on that one. Got another Game Boy game. Game Genie. And then back to the Xbox. So over on this side, I've got the, what do you call it? All the GameCube games and PlayStation 2 games. I got a couple Wii games and some Xbox games thrown in there. I'm not really going to go over all of these. Another time, another place, perhaps. I've got the Nintendo 64 games over here. These drawers are where the controllers are for the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Nintendo 64. Over here, I've got the GameCube racing steering wheel and the Nintendo 64 steering wheel. Moving along, over here are the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Atari 2600 games, Atari 2600 box, Warcraft 3 box, hooray, sweet couch to watch sweet TVs. Got the console TV here, and I've got this new TV that I actually just got today is here. This is a great TV. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it. I love console tube TVs. I'm watching Shaun of the Dead right now, which is kind of funny because I got a little Shaun and Ed right there. Look at them, little pop vinyls. I got some books here too. I got The Art of Atari. This is a really fun book. They got some really good artwork and stuff in there. 151 video games. Another awesome book. Got some great illustrations. I've got two Eberron books, Five Nations and Faith of Eberron. These are D&D books for people who don't know what Eberron is. I've also got the Super Mario 64, totally unauthorized. It's unauthorized. Player guide. So, that's pretty neat. So, I bet you're all wondering, how's all this hook up? How does all of this hook up to these two televisions? Well, I'll tell you. Basically, actually, let's move around here so we can show you the method to this madness. This is what it looks like behind here. It's a mess. I've got two power strips. I've got cords everywhere. This actually looks 10 times better than what it did look like. It was an absolute just disaster back here until I kind of did some management. I'm going to get some, what do you call those, zip ties, and then I'm going to zip tie some stuff up, make it look good. But in the meantime, it looks way better, and I do not leave these on. I do shut them off. I unplug them from the wall so that way there's no fire, because this kind of is a fire hazard. Anyway, so basically, I've got them all hooked up to these two TVs. The console TV down here has the Atari 2600 and the Nintendo. Now, when it comes up to this TV, I've got all the other consoles hooked up to it. I've got the Xbox, GameCube, PS2, Nintendo 64, and the Super Nintendo hooked up to this TV. And basically all I need to do, I have a switcher box up here. I'll kind of run you through how I do this. I've got a switcher box here, and this plugs into this TV, and I can switch between certain video game systems. And the way I know this is because I've got a list. I've got a list of everything that I have so far. I only have these consoles that are currently hooked up to the TV. But the 2600 and the Nintendo are on the console, so that's fine. So the Super Nintendo. So let's say if I want to play Super Nintendo, all I got to do is go to Video 1 on the TV and switch 3, which they're labeled up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So switch 3 is the Super Nintendo. I can play. Nintendo 64, if I go to Video 1, switch 1, I'll be playing Nintendo 64. So that's how I know that. I can keep this handy, so that way I don't have to flip through a bunch of stuff and figure it out. Over on this side, that's kind of my computer area. I've got my computer here, Santa Claus there, that's a space heater, because sometimes it does get kind of cold down here. Macintosh, Macintosh Classic 2, a candle, a chainsaw. That's, you know, that's nothing to be concerned about. It's, you know, it's video game related, okay, so but it is a real chainsaw. It doesn't work, but it is a real chainsaw. Anyway, I have this TV here. I have my Generation NEX over here, and the reason I have this here is because I like to test some of my games sometimes before, you know, when I clean them. When I buy Nintendo games, I like to clean them because a lot of them are extremely nasty, and I want to make sure they're perfectly clean before I put them in my console over there. So, I'll clean them up, I'll test them here. They're easier to test here because I don't have to, you know, push it in and mess with it. It goes in, it turns on, it works perfectly. The only reason that's not hooked up over there is because this does not play certain games. It won't play like the Tengen games, and it won't play unauthorized games, so that's over here. Famicom NES adapter, I don't know, that's just kind of cool. I got that from a buddy of mine. So that's hooked up to that TV. Basically over here, this tubs, these are filled, that tub right there is filled with weapons, and that one right there is filled with cords and miscellaneous cords and cables and stuff to all the stuff over there. I used to have that switcher box. This is a second, it's kind of dark over here, I'm sorry. This is the second switcher box that I actually had hooked up over there, and I got rid of it because I got multiple inputs on the TV now. So hooray! This box right here, I don't think there's anything in that tote actually, and there's just a pile of junk here that I gotta figure out what to do with. I've got a couple of lightsabers, keyboard. This was a Nintendo. It was a knockoff Nintendo console that I gutted to try and fix, and it can't be fixed, so whatever. It sucked anyway. Some incense, you know, make the room smell nice. I've got a gaming chair right there. And that's pretty much it, guys. Focus. I've got, you know, all my movies and DVDs. Everybody knows about all that kind of stuff. Maybe I'll do another video to really showcase all the stuff that I've gotten since then. Let me turn my camera around. I know I kind of went through this fast, but I didn't want this to be like a super long video. So basically, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you have any questions, please comment down below. Down in the... Oh, look, an ET shirt. Look at that. Never forget, Alamogordo, New Mexico. Whee! I'm sorry. I'm stupid. Peace out, Girl Scouts. And Boy Scouts. All Scouts. Eagle Scouts.